has spread beyond that, including this show. Speaking of which, shout out to New Thought Media Network for giving me this platform to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero and my efforts to uplift and inspire people. Appreciate you. The website for for New Thought Media Network is ntmedia.org. Let me put that up on the screen. It is a 501c3 nonprofit, so you can make a donation and it's tax deductible. Also, they just created their first and only Instagram channel. So go follow them on Instagram at New Thought Media Network. So that's that. And yeah, and continue to see what other programming is on the network and also the radio show. They also have a radio show. They have a collection of content for radio. So there's at least two different ways that you can interact with New Thought Media Network. You can watch the shows and you can listen to the radio. So go check out all of that is my point at ntmedia.org. Okay, so just a reminder, I'm not a personal trainer, nor am I a financial advisor. So do your own homework, do your own due diligence, and take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm simply trying to share with you what has worked for me, and in many cases, what has not worked for me. So check me out here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to have to keep emphasizing that. I thought everybody knew now that it started at 9:45, but someone just mentioned to me a couple days ago. They were like, wait, it starts at 10, right? So the show has been expanded. It used to start at 10. It starts at 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. That's 8:45 a.m. Central, 7:45 a.m. Mountain. So check me out Monday through Friday. And if this show provides any value, please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please do all the things because all those things help the algorithm and that helps the show grow. It helps the network grow. It helps all of us grow. Speaking of which, I just saw the other day that the New Thought Media Network, their YouTube channel is over 50,000 views. So a little bit of fireworks for that. Very exciting that this network has grown so far, so fast. And remember, this was a pandemic pivot for someone, for Reverend Robert, who's the founder of New Thought Media Network. So this is recent. Anyway, all that said, let's get into some Hero Ministry Movement news. So again, this is season 3. The theme for season 3 is doing. In other words, I am attempting to give practical advice as much as possible, actionable advice. If you've got questions, suggestions, anything of that nature, drop them in the comments, DM me, because this is the season to talk about being specific about how we can make some shifts to build our financial future in a different kind of way. So that said, let me say what's up to the heroes in the chat. Happy Wednesday, Gladys. I'm glad you're here. Happy Wednesday, man. What's up, Tim? Oh, man, I had the water too. Anyway, I will circle back to my water in a minute, Tim. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, so Gladys, I'm glad you're here because just a reminder, Sip with Rev Melissa this week is a celebration of living life in joy. This is the 1-year anniversary of Living Life in Joy. We celebrated on Sunday. Go back and check the replay. We also celebrated on Monday. And now through the rest of the week, we're posting the best of Living Life in Joy, quote unquote, because all of them are the best of, right? But the first episode, which aired yesterday, was Reverend Mel's interview with Reverend Robert, the founder of New Thought Media Network. And today's episode is her interview with Gladys Williams, right there in the chat, the designer of Asante's Jewels. Okay, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up at 10:30 Eastern time today. And before that is prayer time at 10:15. Okay, so that said, today is day 233 of my run streak. And as you know by now, I hope I've been posting what I call run reports on social media, where I try to start talking as soon as I finish the run and just say whatever's on my mind, whatever's on my spirit, whatever happens to come out. So one thing I didn't mention in my run report today that I'd like to mention is I found a new track today. That's pretty exciting for me. As someone that ran track ages ago in high school, I still enjoy running on a track. And this one is at Pearl Cone, which has some family significance. But I didn't go out looking for a track. I just decided to run a different route. So people have been commenting about what the route looks like because the Strava app tracks where you run, right? And so depending upon which streets I take, it creates a pattern. And because people have been commenting about it, it's made me much more aware of the pattern. And so today I was like, let me create a different pattern because apparently I create the same pattern most of the time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to create a different pattern. And that took me past Proclone. And then I saw that they have a brand new track. Last time I saw it was early pandemic, and it did not look the way it looks right now. I mean, it's still under construction. They painted and redone everything. So it was a really nice track, and I got to run on it today. So shout out to Proclone for that. Also, if you watch today's run report, it's very similar to yesterday's run report. And the bottom line is you have to consciously make time for you. Best time to do that is early in the morning. We've talked about the morning practice here in our Rev Melissa show. And I'm adding exercise to that. The best time to make time for you physically is early in the morning because it helps shift your feeling tone. It helps shift your mindset. It helps fill your body with endorphins that help you for the rest of the day. So make time for you. And I had some challenges with that today and yesterday. So check out the run report for the full story. Okay, all that said, let's give a shout out to all the people in the 30-day challenge. I said I was going to read the list today, and my bad. Sorry, Linda. I thought it was you that was asking to be in the challenge. It was actually Pamela. But maybe that's God speaking through me to you, Linda. Maybe there's something that you want to work on, some reason to join the 30-day challenge. No pressure. No pressure. That said, here is the list as of today. So obviously there's me. I'm doing my run streak. I'm continuing to do my run streak that I began on June 1st. There's Rev Mel, who's doing transcendental meditation, which is new for her. Well, I can't do commentary on everybody. Sorry, that'll take me too long. There's me, Rev Mel, Andrea, Cooter's wife, Carolyn. Oh, I should say what people are doing though. Sorry. Andrea is doing a spin class. Cooter's wife is running. Carolyn is walking. Gladys is doing an indoor bike. Lily is doing push-ups. Mom is exercising twice a day. I just saw her doing her first set a few minutes ago. Lovejoy is walking. John is walking. Tim is writing with his left hand. Margareta is doing a full-on workout. Let us know how that's going, Margareta, because it's an everyday thing. It's 30 days consecutively, no rest days, so be careful. A guy on TikTok, Jay Flynn, is doing 30 days of calisthenics. And just one comment, I'm grateful for the expansion of this work into social media. I've got people that I don't know on social media saying, hey, I'm in. So that's pretty exciting. All right, TikTok, Jay Flynn is doing calisthenics, Roxanne is doing rowing, and Pamela is walking. That brings us to a grand total of 15 for this specific 30-day challenge. If I missed you, let me know. If you want in, let me know. Again, the rules are simple. Choose something that you want to do every single day for the next 30 consecutive days. You can start whenever. We have started at different times. And be gentle with yourself. There was someone posting in the group yesterday about failing. There's no failing here. If you miss the mark, then that gives you information about how to hit it better the next time. Like maybe you set the bar too high for yourself. Maybe you discovered what life activities are difficult to manage in addition to adding this 30-day challenge. Like it's all learning. We're not going to use the word fail. That's not an option here. The fail is not learning. That's the only fail. If you don't learn from what happened, then that's a fail. So we're going to keep pivoting, keep grabbing more information as it evolves, and keep sharing the information. I've said this a couple times, I'm going to keep saying it. Everybody post in the group because you never know who might learn from your experience as opposed to mine. So keep posting in the Facebook group. Okay, so that's going well, and I'm excited that we've got so many people. All right, moving on. So envelope challenge. I've been doing the envelope challenge. Rev Mel, I know, is doing it with me. If there's anyone else doing it with us, let us know. And I decided that I need to get some dice or a die. because it's already got 1 through 6 on it, and I can just roll that in the morning. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, today's number is $2. And here's my latest discovery. And I may not have a discovery every day, but I've got one today. So I mentioned my challenge with my debit card being compromised, and I had to get a credit card. And then I started using my credit card, and I was shocked at how much money that I was spending on frivolous stuff. So I pared back significantly. Anyway, that credit card is now connected to my account. So I see that balance every day too. And what I've been doing is nickel and diming it, as opposed to just waiting for payday and or bill day and making a payment. I've been throwing a little bit of money here and there and here and there. And what's been fun to me is when you pay it, it ticks down, not immediately, but soon thereafter, the balance on the card ticks down. Like you could see it like rolling itself back. And I was shocked. I was shocked that I recently gave a little tiny payment, like $17. But of that $17, it only credited $6. It took $11 as just interest. So first of all, I'm paying way too much in interest, right? But second of all, it's so important to be aware of that, to know that that's the ratio, that if you pay 17, you're only going to get $6 worth of paying down the debt. That makes you, or at least it makes me feel much more aggressively, feel like moving much more aggressively towards paying this bill down. So I'm sure that was all super elementary for all of you, but it was a good reminder for me. So if it was helpful to you, hold on to it, but I'm sure most of you are past that. Anyway, all that said, let's move on to Mornings In. Yes, Mornings In. Now it's 10 o'clock. So for those of you just joining us now, this show has been expanded. We started at 9:45. So we've been chatting a little bit about a few different things. So tune in next time at 9:45 and or watch the replay. The replay is available on New Thought Media Network, their Facebook, and their YouTube. It's also available on my Facebook and my YouTube. And if you watch on my YouTube, please subscribe and turn on the notifications, because I'm posting content on my YouTube channel now 5 days a week. There's constant content over on YouTube. So check that out. Okay, Mornings In. As you know, probably, I've been taking the 30-Day Mental Diet class again. We are reading the book, The 30-Day Mental Diet by Willis Kinnear, and every time is like the first time. Even with my previous highlights, every time I read the book, it's like the first time. So I am on day 14. I'm on day 14. So I'm going to read what stood out to me from day 14 of the 30-Day Mental Diet. Okay, so day 14, the theme is Life Owes You Nothing. Life owes you nothing. I actually highlighted a couple different passages that I'm going to kind of string together as one reading. Today, my every thought and act is my giving this to the world. Today, my every thought and act is my giving this to the world. All right, next passage. When you change your pattern of thinking and concern yourself with what you can contribute to life, you will be surprised at what you will start receiving. And that takes us all the way back to what I say at the start of every show, that helping everyone reach optimism is about the reciprocal action of giving, right? So I'm going to read it one more time. When you change your pattern of thinking and concern yourself with what you can contribute to life, you will be surprised at what you start receiving. Focus on giving versus gimme. Focus on giving versus gimme. And then I had to highlight this because I was like, how serendipitous is this? I actually said this in my show yesterday without realizing it would come up in the reading of the 30-Day Mental Diet today. So from the Bible, this is Luke 11:9. And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. So yesterday, I was trying to say, seek, and ye shall find. I was stumbling over my words, but that's what I was saying, seek, and ye shall find. And here it is. That verse popped up in my reading for today. So I think that's very serendipitous. And it's a good segue because we've been talking about my next charity run, my third charity run, And am I going to do the drum roll? Yeah, let me do the drum roll. Okay, third charity run. You already know I've committed to doing a charity run for Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles is the man that I helped out of the ice and snow recently when he slipped and fell and apparently broke his foot. So he's in the hospital. Last I heard, he's in rehabilitation, and my intention is to raise money for him. So I have successfully created a GoFundMe. I'm learning the system because last time I used Pledge It, and this time I'm using GoFundMe, and they're not exactly the same, but it is live. The link is live. The challenge for me is it doesn't let you create a custom link. Like on Pledge It, I could give you a custom link that was really easy to say, but GoFundMe, either it doesn't do that or I haven't been able to figure out how to do that. So for now, just go to GoFundMe and type in sekouwrites and see what comes up. Today, I'm going to link it to the homepage of my website. That'll be much easier. But know that the link is live. So we got a GoFundMe going for Mr. Charles. My intention is to dedicate the next 100 miles of my run streak to Mr. Charles. And in that period of running 100 miles, my intention is to raise $1,000. So that's the same ratio that I used for my second charity run, because I was doing 500 miles for $5,000. So that same ratio, 100 miles for $1,000 is what I'm using. So again, my third run streak is for Mr. Charles to help him get back on his feet, literally. And my intention is to dedicate the next 100 miles of my run streak to raising $1,000 for Mr. Charles. Sidebar, I can't even believe that I can casually say, I'm dedicating the next 100 miles to my run streak. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But I've normalized that overachievement for myself. Because if last year you had told me that I would be even capable of running 100 miles at all, let alone multiple hundreds of miles, I would have been like, come on, nobody can do that. But as of earlier this week, I was at 650 miles total. 650 miles. What? So anyway, I feel comfortable saying I can do another 100. I've already done 650. I could do another 100. So at around 750 miles, that'll end my third charity run, which is a part of my larger run streak. So there we go. So if you wouldn't mind looking for the link on GoFundMe, let me know how that goes, what the process is like. It's very challenging. Also, I am committing to adding it to my website, which will make it much easier in the future. Okay, so let me check the comments before I move on any further. Oh, yeah, so Gladys is letting us know that she's on it. She's hitting the bike every morning at 9 a.m. That's what we're talking about, Gladys. Let's do this. Okay, so now that I've done the morning's in, I wanted to mention the 4 agreements just really briefly. I'm reading it out of sequence. I understand it's a short book. I can't tell it's a short book because I'm reading it on my Kindle app, so that's just scroll and scroll. But I understand from people who have the physical book that it's short. I've been skipping around, and I skipped around, and I talked about forgiveness yesterday. I read a passage about forgiveness that was really powerful to me. And I'm going to circle back to forgiveness because the book has a really good section about self-forgiveness. But what I want to read today is about emotions. So this is from the 4 agreements. The problem with most people is that they lose control of their emotions. It is the emotions that control the behavior of the human, not the human who controls the emotions. So we must learn to control the emotions we go through so that we have enough personal power to create our own personal heaven. Right? Okay. It's not anything new. It's not something we haven't talked about before here on Sit with Rev Melissa on Living Life in Joy. But it bears repeating. You must exert control over your emotions. Otherwise, your emotions are controlling you. Your emotions, how you feel about something, is determining what you do. And the best case scenario I can give, the easiest example I can give, is my run streak. Like, I don't feel like running every day. Today was another one of those days. You got to go watch the run report. But today was another one of those days where I did not expect to not feel like running. I didn't feel like running. And I had all these reasons why, all that. And you've got to feel that feeling of I don't feel like doing it, but then say to yourself, so what? So what? I don't feel like doing it. If we only do what we feel like doing in life, we won't get much accomplished. And that's the so what muscle that I'm building for me. And I hope for the other people doing the 30-day challenge, that's the so what muscle that you're building for you. Yeah, you don't want to do it again today. Yeah, I know. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Okay, so shifting gears, moving on to abundance. Let's talk about it. Let's do our affirmation, which is, oh, let me find it. Here we go. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. Drink that in. The multimillionaire status applies to all the areas of your life. You claim that for yourself. And also, just a reminder, poor people spend, the middle class saves, but the wealthy invests. So make sure that you're investing. Okay, so I mentioned yesterday that what I wanted to talk about in terms of finance was individual stocks, because here is my latest discovery. My latest discovery is that it's challenging to keep your emotions out of individual stocks. Is that what I want to say? What I want to say is it's more challenging to keep your emotions out of individual stocks, because individual stocks, at least for me and my family, we've tended to root for a stock, get attached. So here's a specific example. So I bought a stock. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want you to like run out and get it and have it not work out for you. But I got a stock early in the pandemic that did really well. I got it really low during the pandemic, and then it shot up towards the middle of the pandemic. And now it's kind of stabilized. Well, it has stabilized much higher than what I got it for. And so my mom and I both have this stock. There's a few people that have stock, but my mom and I have been talking about it recently. And it's been falling. And it's been falling, but I got it so low that it's still up. Oh, there's my alarm. All right, so it's been falling, but I got it so low that it hasn't. So let's use some random numbers. I don't remember exactly, but let's say I got it at $5 and it's trading at 40. So that's a significant jump, right? So even though it's falling, it's still way above the $5 that I got it for. So it's still up for us personally. But it's been falling pretty rapidly. And what we've discovered is that when you're connected to it and it looks all pretty in your stock portfolio, it's green, the arrow's going up, the chart's going up, it's easier to root for it. You know, root for it to come back. That said, this book that I'm reading now about investing talks about how you've got to keep your cognitive biases out of the stock market. First of all, I didn't even realize we were using phrases like cognitive bias for the stock market. Like that shows you how much the psyche is a part of investing. But you've got to strip away your cognitive bias. And he tells a story about being embedded with some folks who made a lot of dot-com bubble money, and those stocks on paper had made them multimillionaires in terms of their net worth. But they were falling, and the person writing the book was saying, you should probably sell and capture your profits. And they were saying things like, well, I've already lost $500,000. What's another couple thousand? Because they were waiting and hoping for it to go back up. And in many cases, it did not go back up. And so they were never able to capture any of their profits. And so their net worth went from, multi-millionaire down to whatever it was before. Like it zeroed itself out. And so the point of this particular writer is that you got to make a habit of capturing your profits. And I find that that has been a little more challenging to do in terms of individual stocks because my emotions have gotten involved. So that said, we figured it out. My mom pulled the trigger first, and then I pulled the trigger after she did. But we closed our positions on the stock because it's falling so precipitously, and we want to capture the profit. And that said, what I've also discovered is that it's much easier to not get emotionally invested into index funds and ETFs because there are multiple companies within the index funds and multiple companies within the ETFs. So the S&P 500, for example, has 500 companies in it. So it's almost impossible to get attached. You know that someone is going to swap out one of those 500 companies if one of those 500 companies isn't doing well and replace it with another company. So it's about as can't miss as you can get. Same thing with the ETFs. The ETFs are smaller, but we're still talking about 50, 60, 100 companies. And so again, if you believe in the asset category, that's not quite the right phrase, but you know what I mean, like the category of the ETF. If you believe in an ETF for, let's say, self-driving cars, then you can just believe in that concept and choose an ETF and trust the people who run the ETF to choose the right companies, right? So I offer that advice to you and to myself as a reminder that I am going to tend to stay away from individual stocks, except the big ones. What I'm shifting my mindset away from and to is I'm shifting away from, oh, I know this company is going to win. I'm shifting away from that and shifting to, oh, this company is already winning and I need to ride the coattails. So we're all the way back to what used to be called FANG, which is now called MANG because Facebook changed their name. But MANG is an acronym which stands for Meta, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. And there are some others you can add to that list that are doing phenomenally well. It's better to buy in a little bit of a company that's doing phenomenally well rather than to gamble on a company that you hope will win in the future. Because you might be right. You might gamble correctly and that company wins in the future, but it probably won't win as well as the companies that are already doing extremely well. So that's where we are. I'll keep talking about the stock market as we move throughout the week. I'm out of time, but coming up is prayer time at 10:15. And then remember, we've got Sit with Rev Melissa coming up, a best of episode with Gladys Williams. So till then, keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero, and remember that now is better than perfect. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. Eastern.